welcome to EastEnders Weekly for now.
Happy New Year!
That's right. If you're watching live, if you're watching this back, then...
Yeah, it might be New Year. We're watching it
That's
2021.
And yeah, busy New Year. We had some experimental episodes. 2 experimental episodes we had. We had flashbacks.
One after the other.
And we had a day in the life of Linda.
The night of the life of Linda. Because she's a night owl now, is our Linda. She likes to drink.
One episode being one of the best of 2019. One of them being one of the worst of 2020.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. Because I having watched it again, I won't say what episode we're indicating. I mean, if you're on our Twitter, you probably know which episode Ben might be relating to. But having watched it again, I don't think it was that bad. It was what it was. Boom.
It was bad.
Boom.
During the night, I actually thought about not watching EastEnders anymore.
Really? Did you have nightmares? Did your nightmares involve a loud boom?
It's everything I hate in an EastEnders episode, that was.
Boom.
But yeah, we'll talk about that later because there's so much to talk about.
Boom.
Because we're discussing the episodes that are broadcast on the 30th of December right through to the 3rd of January. And we also went back to the 25th of December as well this week.
We did.
2 Christmas episodes.
It's like they knew they did something right with Christmas, and they thought, you know what, let's chance our arm and try it again.
And ruin it.
Yeah, and then muck it all up. Shall I remind the listeners of some news that's happening with us very soon?
Yes, Alex, you can.
Thank you, Ben. So what's happening is that on the 15th of January, we will be changing our name because Richie's on our back. And we're changing our name.
And Gray and Leo.
Yes, especially
on my
Leo.
back.
Leo's got some obsession with me. He just stands across the road and just stares at me.
Oh, lovely. How nice.
I know, it's a bit haunting, but fine. 15th of January, we are changing our name to Wolford Weekly. All the details are on our website, wolfordweekly.com. But just suffice to say that if you're subscribed to us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or on your favourite podcast app, just expect it all to change on the 15th of January.
So if you see a podcast called Wolford Weekly...
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not subscribed to this.
Yeah,
unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe.
No, because it's us.
Stick
and everything
with us.
is staying the same, basically.
Yes. Just name.
Just the name and a song, theme tune, or it's
theme,
called jingle.
Yeah, all kinds of
the
bits.
word.
Little pieces like that are changing. We've already changed on Facebook, you may have noticed. When you've asked to join us, we're now the Wolford Weekly EastEnders Chat.
EastEnders community.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're highbrow. We're not just a chat.
We're a community. We are a community, and we're a lovely community. So come join us on our Facebook.
Anyway, let's get going because we've got 1,000 storylines to go because they just kept appearing. And each episode, more storylines just kept popping up everywhere. So we're going to start off with the Whitney and Lee one because lovely Lee was still hanging around.
Yes, Lee and Whitney have reconciled their differences, and they're now BFFs once again. All over a boogie at Ruby's, the brand new nightclub.
80s night. Original.
It's original, it's new.
Didn't have that last year with Keanu and Stuart.
That's E20, no one wants any of that. No one cares about E20, they've just had green everywhere. Ruby's has got a big video wall.
I know, she's redone that quite quickly, hasn't she?
She really has, and it's so much better as well. It just looks like it looks more like a nightclub in there now, rather than some kind of... cheap hangouts of Sharon and Mel.
Stuffy old Mel and Sharon.
Yeah, I know. They don't know how modern kids want it. What you need is a Ruby production, and once a Ruby production gets underway, you're going to have a top-notch nightclub to go to.
That's right, and it was nice to see Lee and Whitney get that moment because it's kind of been just forgotten for about 3 years about his suicide and his depression, and Lee's come back like a new man, and he's more mature, he's chilled out.
Yep.
He knows what he wants with life, and he's here to just give everyone advice.
He's just giving everyone advice. He's giving his mum advice, he's giving Whitney advice. I mean, anyone who asks, he'll give him advice.
And Whitney was there to basically tell her, him everything. She literally went through every storyline she's ever had in the past 3 years.
To be fair, I think she liked that she had just a new fresh set of ears to listen to her woes. And she has had, to be fair to Whitney, has had quite a lot of trouble these past couple of years.
She has, and it's still continuing.
So she deserves to have a little bit of comfort from Lee. And Lee gave it to her with a very straight back. He sat very upright in the cafe.
He's been to the gym, clearly.
He's got a stick up his bum, something like that. Who knows?
But he was there because she said that she was afraid to go outside, and she eventually did admit that, yes, Leo is scaring me, actually. Now I've actually processed and thought about it. And he was there no, you got to live your life. You can't let him stop you. Come to the club with me.
Well,
we'll dress up together.
Yeah, we'll
look sexy together.
Well, that's a matter of debate. Some people look great on 80s night, but not everyone.
Lee and Whitney did.
Lee and Whitney look fine.
She was Madonna.
80s wasn't known for its high fashion, though, was it really? It doesn't show off your tight curves, let's just say. Lee was accused of basically being one of many men by Whitney for treating her like dirt. And afterwards, I think Whitney realised that really all these men that she said that have been horrible to her have one by one also been her comfort blanket. So Callum's her best friend, Lee's become her best friend. Mm-hmm. It's nice that she's got this kind of unit of people who have just basically hurt her, but are there still to support her for more of her problems.
Yeah, because I still love her as a friend.
Yeah.
But I did find it a bit weird how Lee apologised to her, but she didn't apologise to him. It's like she could have said sorry, because she wasn't the best wife to be.
She did push, like, the whole money crisis when he was in debt.
Which made him, spiral.
Yeah, that was partly her own fault as well. The way she kept wanting things. I want my own flat.
Earrings, flats.
She wanted to get out of the pub.
New
New bed, yeah. She wanted him to have a brand new job, and so he ended up doing a job he didn't love, and got bullied, and then ended up rampaging the Vic, So a lot of the problems were down to Whitney too, but I think Lee stood back, realised that perhaps
she needs this story more.
Yeah, because he's left, he's gone to Dover with his girlfriend.
Yeah, and well over time.
Yeah, but he's recovered now, and he's been able to have. I mean, once you leave the square, it's just a normal life.
He's had quite a nice life, hasn't he? He needs to come back.
Not heightened. And well, I said last week he needs to come back. He's fresh, he's clean, he's ready to come back, ready for more mud to be thrown at him and muck to share.
But yeah, it's nice that he was there for Whitney. We had no sight of Leo, so it was all good.
Yeah.
No, but like her night out with him was just a happy night because they sent a photo and they were all having fun with Stuart and Rainie.
Well, it was happy until Linda gave her evil eyes, but we'll get to that bit later.
Well, we're at E20. No, not E20. Well, we're at Ruby. Sorry.
Yes, don't get it wrong. It's Ruby.
Let's talk about Ruby because there was another little funny storyline with her and Max where he was really, really trying to make her jealous in the open relationship. So he doesn't quite understand it in his brain, does he?
No, he understands it, but he can't. He
doesn't want to.
Well, no, he doesn't like the fact that the shoe is on the other foot. Jack quite rightly says to him, like, if this is something that you would probably jump at the chance if it was given to you an opportunity, but because Max is finally finding his mortality and realising that he's now a bit old to be sleeping around and seeing younger girls, and he's not really got the charm and the white eyelash flitter doesn't work quite so much anymore.
Stacey's not around, so he can't fall back on her.
Yeah, he can't go to Stacey every Christmas just to fall on her and get up to
because he tried with Linda and a few girls in the club, but no. Did he pretend he had one of their numbers and Ruby was like, "Oh, go on then, just go." Sounds fun.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, some girls asked me over to hers afterwards. I'm thinking about going." And Ruby's like, "All right, then have fun." And walks off, and he's just like, "Oh, looks like a lost puppy."
She's probably thinking, "Oh, thank God, night off of Max."
I know, I would think that too.
But it is funny how like the one time Max is allowed to play away, he doesn't really want to, and then when he's in a relationship where it's like a normal relationship, inverted commas, he's not allowed to play away, so he obviously wants to. So is there some sort of weird thing there?
The weird thing is that he wants a woman to be 100% dependent on him, but he won't give that the same way round. Yeah. And he feels as though he can do whatever he likes, but a woman has to always want him. And that's his problem, and he doesn't like it. And so his desperate need to make Ruby jealous of him, because he genuinely believes he's some kind of God's gift, and it's just not working out for him. I think it's hilarious, and I love it. And keep going, Ruby. I love you.
Every time Ruby just makes fun of him, she just goes up and up and up in my estimations.
I really love Ruby. Again, I won't talk about it just yet, but when it was Linda's episode, when she's being served by Ruby, I really loved the scene with Ruby. I don't know why. It was just a standard kind of like conversation, like get me a drink. Oh, I don't think you should. I'll get my own drink then. Oh, okay, don't come behind the bar. And for some reason, like Ruby's charm is she's really found her stride on it now.
She's been written really well. Like she's been written like a real proper person, but like a person of today.
But also she's not being pulled away from, like, when she was first introduced, it was always just her and Stacey and Martin, and I think it's kind of nice that she's now kind of got involved, and she has got, and at first we were like, I hate that she's got Ruby, she's now getting the club, but actually I like that she's got the club because it's made the club feel like an actual place that people would inhabit, rather than this kind of add-on, this tack-on that there's the Vic, and there's E20. It now feels like there's 3 genuine places you could visit for a night out in Wolford.
That's true. Right, so next up on our quickfire round is Honey and Billy.
Pow, pow, pow.
They were there because she's still not eating cheese puffs.
I mean, who refuses a cheesy puff?
I know, especially when you're next to Billy.
Well,
he's offering them round with his hands in the bowl at the same time.
Yeah, didn't wash his hands before he came out of the toilet,
But I am glad that they're continuing like the honey eating disorder storyline. They've not just dropped it, so I'm really pleased about that. But she did go in for a kiss with Billy.
She did.
Karen saw but wasn't really bothered.
Karen has a lot more things on her mind. No, she wasn't bothered at all. She didn't care. She said
she's been talking to Ruby, isn't she?
She said I don't care about any of that at the moment. She's more concerned about her son.
My son's dead.
Yeah, so that's a bigger problem on her situation. But it was sweet that when Honey was on the stairs afterwards and she was talking again, Linda's blooming scene keeps coming in. Linda kind of comforts Honey and says to her, "You're beautiful, you're a model, you're gorgeous, I'd do anything to swap places with you." And I think the swap places with her was more to get her conscience removed because of obviously what she knows. Again, we'll talk about it in a minute. But also I think that she was a bit jealous that Honey has sustained her looks in her age.
Yeah, got very good skin.
Yeah, nice eyes, dresses well. Hot. If I was Billy, I'd go to Honey. Let's be honest. Honey and Billy will always be together.
Yeah, I don't want them together. So.
But I don't think there's anything more that they can have. I mean, Honey's tried going elsewhere, and she's been destroyed by it. She's been her, and
we've
Billy's
said
her reliable
who Honey
one.
should be with. Ash. They're a match made in heaven, those two.
Well, yes. Well, but Ash is trying to get together with Tina apparently, so it's all going
Iqra,
round.
isn't it? Someone.
Oh, sorry, yes, Iqra's going with... Yeah, there you go. So if Iqra goes with Tina...
Honey can get Ash.
Ash is available. And she does say she's bisexual, so, Honey...
Made that very clear this week.
It was very clear. It's like, I am bisexual. I'm neither one way or the other. Don't make me choose.
Right, so the last one on our quickfire short stories is the revelation about Issac from Sheree. Because obviously Christmas, this is when the flashback situation happened. She disappeared for half the night when Denise kicked her out, and we got the other half of that storyline.
Well, we saw the moment when Sheree, we saw it from Sheree's point of view. So on Christmas Day, we saw it from Patrick and Denise's point of view, when Patrick had a bit of a breakdown and blamed Denise for all of his woes. But this time we saw it from Sheree's point of view, and we met Issac.
We did, a new character.
I mean, hello, Issac.
Oh. Do you want a bit of background on him? They've released a
lot of background about him.
They have said that he is a teacher.
Oh.
So professional male in the square, which we enjoy.
Sonia
Hopefully he's not evil.
Teacher. No, that's true.
Fingers crossed. Not like Gray and Leo.
I don't think you can have an evil teacher, can you? I think you're playing dangerous grounds if you introduce an evil teacher, because they're teaching children, and that means they're manipulating children, and that makes them...
Maybe he'll teach Bex over the summer for university, and they'll get a little...
What, a private tutor?
A thing going on, because she likes her teachers, doesn't she?
Well, that's what I was saying, Sonia or Bex.
Oh, yeah.
They like to share their teachers.
So that's good to do, but of course, he's a teacher, but he's got a troubled past.
Of course.
Like everyone.
Why even visit the square if you've got no troubles?
So that's the official synopsis of his character, which we've been given. And we know that Sheree is his mum, and he's waited a long time for the right time to meet her new husband, and she says the time's not right yet, but we don't really know what's going on there. And Sheree just basically said, "Go stay with your auntie, and I'll let you know when it's time."
Which is convenient, because now we've met him, now we can go off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we didn't see much more of them. Yeah. But you're trying to work out who Issac is, or why can't he meet Patrick?
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? This is the mystery. What is it that Patrick's not allowed to know about Issac? What's Sheree hiding?
Or what Isaac's not allowed to know about Patrick.
Or what Sheree doesn't want Patrick or Issac to know about each other.
That's very odd. I mean, obviously, is it Patrick's son? But that means him and Sheree would have had a child years ago. But why can't she just tell him?
You keep coming back to it's Patrick's son. But
that's all I can think of.
He seems a bit young to be Patrick's son, don't you think? He seemed like quite a young lad. And don't forget, Sheree is considerably younger than Patrick, because Sheree's mum was the same age as Patrick, because she went away with
Teddy.
Teddy. Oh, Teddy. He's one of the casualties of 2019, isn't he?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, Ted. Mr. Murray.
I mean, I find it interesting she said, "Go save your auntie." I don't know if that's a clue. Is he something to do with Patrick's kids, like Dr. Truman or Paul?
That's what I'm wondering. I reckon he might be his grandson.
But that means Sheree's slept with her sons, had a child, and now she's married, his granddad. That's a bit, weird. But Paul wasn't Patrick's real son, so maybe it's not as weird. But it seems a bit of like you've deliberately trapped me into this marriage. Like, if I was Patrick, I'd think that's a bit weird.
But I mean, it's
Out
better.
of all the men, why have you picked me?
Better that than money, because that's what the whole thing was about to begin with, wasn't it? It's nice that Sheree's not just a gold digger, I suppose. So that's a good sign. But it's interesting. Is there more to us knowing that he's a teacher? Is that something that, because teacher's quite a professional occupation, isn't it? And Paul was a doctor. Or
Paul wasn't. Paul's the gangster.
Oh, sorry, Patrick.
No,
Patrick.
Anthony.
Sorry, Anthony is a doctor. So, yes. I mean, is that the kind of a signal of academia? Maybe. Something along those lines.
It's hard to work out because she's married to Patrick, so it just makes it a bit weird if she's also was with one of his kids. So it's just
but it's not really, because she is considerably younger than him.
I know, but then why she then seeks Patrick out to marry him?
But then there must be something about the family blood, isn't there?
Maybe.
She likes. There's something about the Trumans.
It's a shame they cleared. Not a shame because it was a stupid storyline, but the fact that they cleared up the Kim and Denise being not real sisters. Like, this reveal could have been that Sheree was Denise's real mum. So it's a shame that was cleared up, because that could have been sisters. Yeah, that could have been a storyline. But yeah, I can't see what else Isaac's hiding.
Or could it be something to do with? Have I said this before, Vincent?
Yeah, why could he not see Patrick though? That's got nothing to do with Patrick.
Well, it's not. But is it just? Yeah, but is it just Patrick she's hiding from? We're just presuming it's Patrick, but she doesn't say anything to Denise either.
That's true.
So she's hiding it from all of them. So are we just presuming it's all about Patrick, but it's actually about Denise. A lot more? Denise, well, or Kim.
Or Pearl.
And Kim's...
Or Mika.
It's Pearl's secret father. And yeah. Well, it could be Pearl's brother. It could be Vincent's son.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Could be anyone.
Very exciting. But that's what I mean. It could be absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Anything or anything.
Who knows? Not me, not you.
Do you know? Sure... Listeners out there?
Yeah.
Get in touch, let us know.
Tell us. Right, so we're going to go move on to the main storyline now of what happened to Keanu. So this is where my love for EastEnders dies.
Well, the build-up and the aftermath were fine. It was just the execution in the middle that was... No pun intended with the execution, because there was no execution. But... And a lot of people...
There was an execution of a few characters.
As characters. No, they were assassinations. And a lot of people on Twitter said, oh, it wasn't really surprising, and you're right, it probably wasn't. But I think it was portrayed quite well. It was fine, and it's building up to, shall I say, a 35th anniversary episode quite well.
Got a little hint at that at the end, I think.
Well, I think we got a hint with it also when Phil smirked as well. So I think it's very much going to be... Well, don't you think that it's very much becoming a Who Shot Phil 2.0? Because we've had a...
It's got to be Ben, hasn't it, surely?
Do you think it's going to be Ben? I think it's going to be Phil.
Well, not again.
I thought it was going to be...
another one.
Not another election. I genuinely thought, I was with you. I thought it's going to be Ben. It's going to be Who Shot Ben. But then afterwards I thought, well, Phil's not really got a reason to dislike Ben yet anyway. So, but Ben has got a lot to dislike Phil about, because he feels like he's been put in this position just because he needs to show his love and dedication to the Mitchells. Exactly.
One of them.
One of them, not one of them. So it's for me, it's because they've done Sharon Gate 2.0, it worked out, been quite good. They've had pretty good Christmas out of it. Why not 35th anniversary? Who Shot Phil? Will 2.0? Lisa
still be around then, do you think?
I don't even know if Lisa's still there now.
Well, yeah, quite, but as like a suspect. Because when they did the Who Shot Phil last time, was it Dan Sullivan they brought back all of a sudden, but they only brought him back as a suspect. But that was the only reason they brought him back. Is that what Lisa's there for?
To be a suspect. I don't think they need Lisa to be a suspect, though. There's enough people there, isn't there? There's Karen, there's Martin, there's Ben, there's Louise, Keanu. Potentially. There's Keanu. There's him as well.
All of them like Phil at the moment.
There's Linda. They don't all like Phil.
Lisa and...
Karen hates Phil.
Yeah, but Louise and Ben, I mean, like they're all smug and all sitting around the table, lovey.
Ben's not. Ben's been drinking a lot more. He's coming
sleeping
back,
around. Callum.
He's gone back. Well, he's reverted back to before the days of Callum, where he's still pining and hurting for Paul. Now he's pining and hurting for the fact that he's just done some heinous crime to warrant the love of his father. And Ben's angry.
Yeah, I'm not sure they've shown that well, because I'm kind of disappointed with like the lack of Louise. I know I'm not Louise's number one fan. But like we've had
that
no
bitch.
Yeah, her. How do you know I was talking about her? But we've had no like. We don't know how she feels really. We obviously even know how she feels about Keanu.
She shuddered when she had the gunshot.
That was so stupid. Like she had some like premonition.
Boom.
I felt something in my tummy.
In my...
For God's sake. But we don't know like how she feels about Sharon. Like the whole year Sharon's been doing all these things to her and she saw her as a second mum above Mel. And I just feel like we've missed a little bit of character.
Just thought Sharon's another one for Phil. Sharon. There you go,
Shirley, she shot him last time, didn't she?
She did. That was the wedding day, wasn't it? No, I completely agree with you. It's a strange one with Louise because you saw when we thought she winked at Karen. We now know she didn't wink at Karen.
No, there's no twist there. So she, as far as we are aware, she has okayed the killing of Keanu, and the same as Phil and the same as Ben, and
she signed it off.
I think that's what's irritated most people.
She's the Donald Trump of the Mitchells.
Yeah, is that these three characters who, yes, Ben's a murderer, he didn't kill her on purpose. Martin reminded them that these three characters aren't murderers, and the Mitchells have never been seen like these top gangsters before. They've always been like dirty den, petty crimes, evil enough but not so evil you don't root for them. And now it just feels like they're all sitting around the table.
With blood on their hands.
Yeah, knowing, as far as they know, Keanu is dead. And they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're just so nonchalant about it, aren't they? Say, oh, well,
I think that's my main,
another round.
That's my main problem. And this is the end of the Keanu storyline. And we haven't seen much of Sharon, Louise, or Phil. Like, Keanu and Sharon didn't get a scene together to say how they feel. We haven't had Louise and Sharon talk. And not really had Phil and Sharon talk after the initial hot-headedness
in the Vic, wasn't it? And that was last week. So yeah, it's weird. There's no interaction.
Well, like a year ago when we knew that this was obviously going to happen at Christmas, could you imagine if we predicted the end of Keanu would be about Martin and Linda and Karen?
That's true.
Like, what?
Martin like turning evil and Linda having a drinking problem.
Yeah,
based
getting
on
all involved in killing Keanu. So it just feels really a bit robbed. Like a year and a half worth of this, and we've not been able to get any of these characters' actual feelings on it.
It'd be better with as you're alluding to, for them to see more of the fallout between the Mitchells and Sharon.
It revolves around.
Exactly. The Mitchells, the empire that is the Mitchells, and everyone taking sides, rather than the fallout of Martin having a breakdown and being bullied by Ben, and Linda, developing a problem but can't talk to anyone about it because it means that she reveals that she knows the secret about Keanu. It's strange, as you say, it's taking this different direction.
And the fact how like she was drunk, but then on the actual flashback episode she was the most like level-headed, but before and after that she was acting really like distraught by it all. She
knew exactly the plan, didn't she? She came out with the plan straight away.
Perfect aim.
She wasn't even looking. My mum was going, I can't shoot him. She was just like, boom. I don't think she even looked in the direction of the gun. She just outstretched her arm 90 degrees.
It's like something out of like a spaghetti western. Like
it was a little
this woman who's had like bottles of vodka, gin, wine at that point. She'd only just come out of hospital as well then, if you're in chronological order.
Which she was on a drip, so perhaps she was on like a salt drip, so it was kind of clearing her blood out a little bit. But then she picked up a litre, which was a present for someone.
But she handled the gun like she's handled gun like.
But she has handled a gun before. Let's never forget, someone got shot in the Vic only a year ago.
Yeah, but she didn't shoot him.
No, but she's felt a gun now. She knows what one feels like. So perhaps that confidence came inside of her.
It reminded me of watching Coronation Street when Phelan was like walking around in the dark around that building site. It reminded me. It was like so Kate Oates.
Oh, what, when he got buried? Almost got buried.
People in
He almost got buried
cement.
In the cement, and then someone came and rescued him, and then
but like the whole tone of it and the over the topness.
But then that is Kate Oates. That's Kate Oates.
That's the EastEnders I just hate.
No, see, I don't. It has its place. I like things to be over the top in a soap. Don't get me wrong. It has its place. I do agree with you, and I know a lot of people disagree with us. But I do agree with you that the sound effects and setting just didn't quite seem right.
But when he was picking up Linda to drag her inside, there were people walking across the bridge behind him.
Were they?
They didn't seem to care about these gunshots going off and this kidnapping.
They're busy. They had other things to do. They're Christmas shopping.
That's probably the paparazzi.
Boxing Day sales.
Keanu. Better leak that to the papers. But yeah, the whole flashback episode just did not do it for me, I'm afraid.
I don't think it was as bad. Honestly, on a second inspection...
I've watched it more than once.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as bad as... It has such a build-up, because there was Christmas episodes, fantastic. The rest of the Christmas week, perfect. New Year's Eve, brilliant. The pacing was fast, it was quick, and then there was this hour-long episode where it slowed down and everything was much more. It was much more of a plod rather than an acceleration. And I
didn't
think
need to be an hour.
It totally didn't. Maybe half an hour was a bit too restrictive too. They could have easily made a 40-minute episode, I think, and that would have fitted quite nicely for the tone of what had preceded it.
Yeah, because you didn't just have those stupid Terminator bits with the gun and God knows what was going on, but you also had like Jean and Daniel and the brothers, and you had Sheree and Patrick. Like you had everything from Christmas Day basically again. So yeah, it was just too much. But those scenes in that warehouse, those sound effects, like Martin and Keanu like fighting and landing on rubbish bins and padding all the time, and he kept shooting the gun like to make you think he shot Keanu. Like why did he shoot the gun? It was just stupid. It didn't make any sense.
But they were flailing around, weren't they?
It was just for drama.
Yeah.
And we know that the only time he actually allegedly killed Keanu was when his phone was out. So every time he had that gun and didn't have his phone out, it's perilous.
But no, that was part of their plan, though. Don't forget, because if they.
No. But when I was watching the episode, like every time they scuffled for the gun and he aimed the gun and then it went to Linda and you hear a gunshot, he didn't have his phone out. So I knew that wasn't the shot.
Oh, I see, because we knew that he had taken a recording at the time. Yes, okay, fair enough. I understand.
So I was perilous.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, wow.
I was under no peril.
You were of no peril. You lacked peril. I mean, it got exciting for me, really. When they had the scenes with just Martin and Keanu and they're kind of talking each other out, they weren't nothing special at all.
Even James By couldn't handle that dialogue.
Fair enough. But when it was the plot and the plan between all three of them, then I got excited and I was a bit more excited about it. But then that was the last part. That's what I mean. So the part when it reminded me of Mick and Stuart, when Mick kidnapped Stuart.
Oh, yeah, the same warehouse, I think.
Yeah, really. And put him in the back of the boot and then drove around in circles and reversed into. And that was done. It was just too long. Like, okay, we get the point. Mick hates Stuart and he wants to get his revenge.
Because he got the big metal bar and you don't know if he hit him around the head and killed him.
Yeah, and you've just left motionless. And again, it was like, okay, we get it. Martin is there to kill Keanu and we know that Keanu talks his way out of it, so we don't really need this long stretch scene. What I would be more interested in is, as you say, because it was perilous, so what I would be more interested in is they spent more time in seeing the intricacies of how they were going to sort the plan out. And that seemed rushed. When Linda said, right, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot you in the shoulder. Shoot you in the shoulder, and it will look like you've been shot then, and then Martin will shoot you off camera, and then we'll show you on the shot, and then you go to the A&E, no one will ask you anything about it, get a fake passport, your new name is Adrian Swanson, and then you fly away.
Take my phone, Martin's phone.
Yeah. It'll be fine. And seen. And it was like, why are you rushing that part? That's the part I want to see. That's the part that's exciting. That's
planning it.
Yeah, the planning. It's almost like a murder she wrote, you know? You get to see how the murder was carried out. That's the fun part. That's what I want to see the whole hour to be based on.
I mean, when he went to the hospital, what happened? We don't really know what happened. We just know that Keanu's in the airport. And he burnt his passport, but he didn't really need to burn it because the police aren't after Keanu.
They're not. They're after Adrian Swanson.
They're not even after Adrian Swanson. But Martin didn't really need to burn his passport. That was a bit over the top. But
Well, again, perhaps it was just to prove. I mean, there was a really telling
line. He did that on his own.
Yeah, but there was a really telling line from Ben when he said, "Where have you put the body?" And Martin was like, "Well, you don't need to know. You've seen the video.
It's my secret."
Yeah, it's my secret. And so I suppose if Ben was to delve a bit deeper, he was to find Keanu's passport, then he might have known that perhaps Keanu might still be alive or something.
Keanu would have his passport, so Ben wouldn't know.
Well, yes, I suppose you could look at it that direction, but you could also look at it that he let him flee, but he said, "But you're not getting out of the country" or something like that, and he kept the passport. You don't know. You know. Sometimes the fact that Martin's keeping hold of the mobile phone is a bit of an outstretched motion that's going to be evidence if it should go any further to the police that Ben Mitchell is blackmailed him to do it. It's like, well, that doesn't really prove that, does it?
No, it doesn't prove anything. But I mean, I think the trouble is the episode before it was really, really good, and the episode after it was really, really good. It's just that one is just like I hate it.
It was a thorn between two roses.
Yeah, I won't be watching that again on repeat.
Well, we have twice.
No, not ever again. That's it. Because the episode after was really good because it was full of character and people sticking up for people. And Karen had that big argument with Phil in the Vic, and she threw his orange juice over.
Yeah, and you went to the bar to get another one, and she started attacking him. Phil threw her to the ground.
I know, he's
really got a thing about.
Yeah. And the fact he's like laughing.
Oh, that was really evil.
Because you have to remember, I know that we know that Keanu's not dead, but Phil, as far as he's aware, he's just killed Keanu. And he's there laughing at a mother
in distress.
Son is dead. So it's really not, I don't know what they want us to feel for Phil.
It's strange, isn't it? Because I've also looking at the perspective of what Sharon has done. Really, in the grand scheme of things, what Phil has done to Sharon is far, far greater worse than what she's really done to him.
Like, Phil's never gone around and said, oh, I want that one dead. Like, this is so calculated. Not Mitchell, and it's so cold, and I don't know. It's not doing his character any favours.
I mean, it maybe the whole mantra that the Mitchells have been going through is you don't mess with a Mitchell, and suppose it might be their way of just kind of cementing their stature within the square. But it's like such a small postage stamp of the world. It's like we really need to show that a lot of people agree that perhaps what Sharon did was a bit naughty and wrong. Surprisingly, Kathy has taken the side of the Phil.
I know, that's stupid too.
I mean, I get it because Kathy's been burnt by Sharon already, but that was years ago. You'd think Kathy would be over that by now. Like,
it's a cheat, always a cheat.
Yeah, it's like, right, Kathy, calm yourself. But like, I don't know. But Ian's taken a side too, and Ian's taken.
That was good. Ian was good this week, taking sides. But obviously we just had Karen like moping around, thinking that he's dead. Linda, that's where Linda's guilt sort of comes from. Is where she keeps seeing Karen missing her son, and obviously she knows what's going on. But Martin ended up like not being able to keep the secret as long as Linda, because he ended up telling Karen straight away. Yeah,
after such a vicious attack by Martin to Linda, after she had drunk a bit too heavily on New Year's Eve, saying, we're all dead if you say anything. And as you say, he's the first one who broke. He just couldn't watch it happen. But he was
softy, isn't he? Really,
he is a softy. And Linda said, "Oh, I thought you were a good-hearted guy," and I think that hit home. And then when Ben said, "You and I, we're not very different. Just I show what I want people to see, but inside I'm dying, I'm screaming, and you're showing everyone that you're hurt, and you're not covering it up very well." And I think at that point Martin thought to himself, well, actually, what I'm doing is wrong, and so I need to put amends to it. So it's quite
Bex had a little chat, I guess that as well softened Martin back again.
Soft Martin.
Yeah, a little chat that she had. But yeah, he let Karen know, and like the next day she nearly like messed it all up as well in the cafe, which was really annoying.
Yeah.
But no, he did take her over to see Keanu on his final moment.
Yep, his final flight. Off he goes. Is he off to Portugal? I wasn't sure.
I don't think he said, did he? I think he didn't want Karen to know.
Yeah, I don't think he said a location either. I think it'd be too obvious it was Portugal. Maybe he's off to see Ingrid.
Gradually he goes to sit in Mel's villa.
Yeah. Mel paid for it.
Thanks,
it's mine
Sharon.
now. But do you think he might be off to see his original girlfriend?
Oh yeah, Ingrid.
Yeah.
It'll be like Dirty Den and Jan in like 20 years' time. Ingrid will turn up, be like, I know where Keanu's been the whole time, and he'll turn up again. Yeah, maybe Ingrid, that could work. She could hide him away in her ski resort, which I imagine she's running by herself now.
No, she's nannying.
She's moved on.
Do you reckon
she's
she
running
owns
a ski resort?
She probably owns a chain of hotels.
Yeah.
Or ski resorts, yeah. ski lodges. Ingrid.
Or she trains nannies and spreads them around the world.
Do you reckon they all have a uniform with her face on the front?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. I'd like to go to Ingrid's school of nannying.
But yeah, he's off, and I don't know what Karen's going to say to everyone, because he said you can't let anyone know. So I don't know whether... Well,
I don't suppose Karen really needs to say anything to anyone. The only thing
she just needs to say she doesn't know, I guess.
Yeah, the only thing that might spill the beans is the fact that she might be a lot more less calm. Distressed, and she's calmer, and so Phil might be a bit suspicious. It's like, oh, hang on, why is she not screaming at me anymore?
Why is she not worried about
And also Billy is quite a loose link as well, isn't he? Because the Mitchells have told him that don't stir the pot too much, but at the same time, if Karen kind of leaks, maybe she could say something to Billy to say like, oh, I know he's okay now.
Maybe she'll just get rid of Billy now. Like, she has the excuse because she saw him kiss Honey, so maybe she just think it's best to get rid of Billy Mitchell altogether. Yeah,
but it's interesting that Billy is the link between her and the Mitchells still, and Billy's always been not known. He's not really been known to be able to keep secrets from them, is he? Because he's another one who kind of just wants the approval of Phil.
I wonder if Karen is going to maybe go on more Team Sharon now that she knows, because she knows that Keanu and Sharon were more than just a fling,
and also that all the Mitchells wanted him dead, including that bitch Louise. So
it'd be nice if Sharon has an ally, like a friend on the square for her. She does need them at the moment.
She's got quite a few. She's got Ian.
That's it.
Oh no, she's lost Linda as well, hasn't she? After Linda's chucked her out, yeah.
But yeah, that'd be nice for Sharon, just have another someone on her side.
That'd be sweet.
Bye Keanu, I guess. He did say the Mitchells will get what's coming to them one day.
And Karen said she won't let his kids forget him. So maybe we're wrong to say that Keanu won't be returning anytime soon. Maybe there's more to it than we first thought.
He's growing his hair though in real life.
But he was oh no, he was wearing a baseball cap when he left, wasn't he?
Although he's on the run, so he can grow his hair. New identity.
Exactly. Continuity's not a problem while you're on the run. It's fine.
Maybe he'll be back like on the 35th, maybe.
Well, as I say, to me, it's leading to a Who Shot Phil.
Or Louise is... Spoilers, everyone.
Spoilers, skip forward if you don't want to know.
But Louise is leaving as well, so we've got that to think about as well.
We don't know when she's leaving.
No.
But again, you have to remember the 35th isn't that far away. It's February. It's it's a month away. It's about 6 weeks away. So
spoilers for that soon.
So they need to build up to this big 35th anniversary. I say big. 35th isn't really a big one.
The 5-year ones are always bigger storylines. The 5 years and the 0 years.
But they haven't really built up the same way they did with the 30th. The 30th was a big build up, and the 25th for that matter, the Archie one. So it's one of my moments of the decade, incidentally.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe you should check it out on your YouTube. Check out Wolfwood Weekly on YouTube and have a look at the video.
I would, but the Russians have hacked my laptop.
I understand. Now they've been stealing some of your 1.2 million from your bank account.
Yes, quite. Because we had like I'm guessing this is a new storyline that's going to be going into 2020 of the money that went missing on Christmas Day during the flashback episode. We got a reveal of who it was trying to steal Dot's money.
I know, and
none of us guessed this.
Well, no, quite surprising actually. Saint Sonia of the Church of Biro.
Yes, another reason why I hate this flashback episode, because this storyline is just... Why would Sonia do this?
Well, see, this is what's so confusing. Because, first of all, why was it such an issue? I know stealing money isn't the right thing to do, but why, other than the moral reasons, which I suppose Dot was leaning toward a lot more, and Dotty, surprisingly, too, why does it really matter that Sonia took £2,000 out of a bank account which had...
5,000.
Oh, okay.
Big difference.
But it is, but it's still a drop in the ocean considering it was like £1.2 million in that bank account. I'm not saying that Dot...
She won't even turn the heating on.
Yeah, exactly. She moaned about buying a boiler. I mean, I'm not saying that Dot shouldn't up her security of her bank account. Of course I'm saying she should do that. Or perhaps maybe put little bits of money in different bank accounts. Because to store all of your money in one bank account is a very dangerous game to play, Dot. But also, it's...
She's got nothing to worry about now Nick's dead. She doesn't care.
No, I suppose not.
No one's going to steal from me.
Yeah,
now Nick's dead.
It's only money that's going to be there for a couple more years. Then I'm going to park it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Dot knows that Sonia has stolen it.
Oh, do you?
Yes, because Dot kept going on about morals and she gave everyone a
Bible.
Bible. Yeah,
she got them quick, didn't she?
She got them printed with 1.2 million. You can do whatever you like. Click your fingers, you get Bible sent to your door.
One day delivery Christmas Day.
I bet she plays for Amazon Prime. She was watching the football on Boxing Day. And she... Yeah, and so I do think that she knows that Sonia's the one who stole it, and she's just waiting for Sonia to admit it. And I think this is
it's just very odd for Sonia, because she could easily ask, because Dot would probably just go, yeah, sure, but we don't know what she needs it for. Like, is she upset that Dot hasn't included her? Like, she's included, because she said, oh, I've included Dotty and Charlie and Dotty's mum, but she didn't mention Sonia. So Sonia's like,
what's
jealous
in her will?
In like helping out with money.
Okay.
I'm sure she said something like that on Christmas Day, didn't she?
Oh, right.
She said, I've helped everyone, I've helped Dotty, I've helped your mum. Like, but she didn't mention Sonia. So is Sonia maybe jealous?
What, so like, spitefully took £5,000? Yeah,
like why have I've always been here, I've kept your house up together while you were in Ireland. Maybe it's like a jealousy thing that she thinks, oh, I should be included.
I deserve £5,000, so I'm going to take it.
Because we thought, oh, maybe she's secretly helping Martin in some big twist, but there was no big twist.
I mean, I suppose Martin isn't earning anymore now that he's quit his job with Tubbs, doing heists and running over people. But do you think it might have been just a bit of a support network for Martin just to find his feet and find himself a new job?
I just don't understand why Sonia is just so... I say it's unlike Sonia. She has done it in the past, we do know.
Oh, Sonia loves stealing money. She loves taking money from the elderly to Sonia.
But Sonia's she's been in a new role since, like, I would say 2016, 2017. Sonia has been more of that, like, homely matriarch role, and she has grown a lot. So it just seems odd for her character to do this now.
Maybe the Dark Martin has gone kind of spilled over into Sonia, and now we're getting to see a Dark Sonia.
You see, we wanted the Dark Rainie and Stuart as a couple.
Yeah.
Turns out we're going to get Sonia and Martin as the murderous couple and stealing money.
Talking about Rainie and Stuart, I am a bit worried that they're going to be the ones who have the finger pointed at, because Dotty overheard Rainie say that, oh, I only said that I wanted to take Dot's money as a joke a few months ago. And, you know, and
Dotty heard.
And as soon as Dotty heard that, I thought, oh no, they're going to blame. And I worried that would have been the moment where Rainie and Stuart, that would be their switch that would turn them into... Because it was so nice seeing them, especially on the 80s party when they were dancing and he was dressed as Elton John, and that photograph that you mentioned earlier when they were all in it. And it was, you know, it's like Rainie and Stuart genuinely, for me, feel like a proper couple. Like, they work, and they just
bring out the good.
They bring out the good in each other, but they look like a couple that you could genuinely see are in the real world. Like, if you saw a Rainie and Stuart in the real world, you'd say, yeah, definitely. But a Denise and Jack, not so much. Yeah, exactly. So they're like they're a bit like Linda. Stuart has found his Linda, which is Rainie.
Yeah, he's always wanted that.
Exactly.
Since the 80s.
And so I think, and it was 80s night in Ruby's.
Oh, yeah.
So it all clicks together very well. But yeah, so silly Sonia, what a sausage. She shouldn't have done that, really.
But yeah, so I'm not really particularly looking forward to this storyline, but I'm guessing this is going to give Dotty something to do where she's going to investigate and find out who it is, and I guess blame the wrong person.
Detective Dotty.
So...
At least it gives her something to do, doesn't it?
Hopefully, yes. Because it's been a while now.
I know, she was introduced with her...
Maybe she can get with Issac.
No, Isaac's too old for her. You really don't have any concept of age for Issac, do you? You seem to think he's... Well, I mean, he's a middle-aged man, and you think he's a teenager.
Oh, I don't know. Whoever, thought you can get with her. But she's a detective on her own. Her and her vegan. That's all it is.
Her vegan? Is that her friend? Hello, vegan.
Right, so we're going to cut off now to a game, I feel. And it's one of your games.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a good game as well. Stay tuned. If you like Dot, you'll like this game. That's a loose link if you ever heard one. Well, I'm just Dotty about Dot Cotton, so I've made a game about her.
Ooh. And Dotty, apparently.
And Dotty, yeah. I'm just Dotty about Dot. We played it already, you might remember. It's called Dot Cotton's Connection Game.
No. Or
Join the Dots. Depends what title you prefer.
I don't think you played that with me.
I have. Well, I played it with someone else on someone else's podcast.
I think so.
Well, I'll go over the rules. So basically, I will give you up to 3 clues, and you must find the sequence and what the 4th clue would be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the less clues you need, the more points you get. So if you get it after 1 clue, you get 4 points. 2 clues, you get 2 points, and 1 point for 3 clues. And you get an extra...
I flopped at this, basically, last time.
You did flop. And you get an extra point for guessing the 4th thing in the sequence as well.
Right.
Okay, there you go. Are you ready to play?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the choice. There's 4 different sets of questions. I'm going to give you the choice to choose which one you want. So 1, 2, 3 or 4.
1.
Start from the beginning. Okay, so here we go. Clue number 1. EastEnders, the podcast 2018. Not our podcast. The official EastEnders, the podcast.
What is this?
2018.
Maybe it's spin-offs.
Ooh, maybe.
So the first one... Well, the last answer would be
Do you need
E20.
to go 4 steps? So you're guessing E20?
E20.
That's
Yeah.
incorrect. Would you like a
Kim's
second
Palace.
No, that's incorrect. You need to find a link somewhere. Do you want a second clue?
Yeah.
Redwater, 2016. So I'm not going to spoil it by saying that you're right about spin-offs.
Yeah.
But whose spin-offs?
So we had Cat and Alfie's, which was... Oh, that's Redwater.
That's Redwater.
So what was before that? Perfectly Frank? Was that older?
Well,
or
think
Nick...
of whose spin-off Redwater was about.
Cat and Alfie.
Yeah.
So
they're spin-offs perhaps for a specific family?
Oh, because the podcast had Cat and Alfie in it.
Right. So think of the 4th one along.
Slater's in Detention.
That's correct.
Good.
Well done. So the order would have been EastEnders, the podcast 2018, Redwater 2016, Pat and Mo 2014, And then Slater's in Detention, 2003.
You should have said the episode title of the Slater podcast, because there was 4 episodes.
No, because that's what makes it cryptic.
Okay.
If you'd got it from that, I would have been overjoyed with pleasure for you. And obviously, it's official EastEnders spin-offs about the Slater family, starting with the most recent. So you got 2 points for only using 2 clues.
Good.
And you got an extra point for getting the 4th in the sequence.
Good.
3 points. 3 out of 5. You won't be going to detention. Question 2, 3 or 4?
3.
Oh, okay, going with the odds. Here's clue number 1 then. Tamwa Masood.
Was it?
Yeah. Do you want a little extra clue?
Yeah.
Think of occupations.
Right. So he was market inspector.
Okay.
So who was the first market inspector? I don't know his name. He has a nickname like Silly Sally or something. I can't remember what his name is.
I know his name because he is also a character in Red Dwarf.
Oh, Mr. Lister.
Oh, are you thinking of someone else?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm going too far back. I'm going back to like the early 90s. That's obviously too far back. So Mr. Lister, he still works as the market man. He's on it next week, everyone.
Yes, he is.
Oh, I don't know. Tamwa.
Mm-hmm. Just to well, you've got
Robbie,
what the connection is.
Robbie Jackson.
Then market. No. Do you want me to give you a second clue?
Yeah.
So first was Tamwa Masood. Second is Carmel Qasimi. So we might be
going upwards.
Maybe.
Okay, so the newest one is Mr. Lister again.
Correct. That's it. That's the 4th answer. Robert Bob Lister. So it's Tamwa Masood, Carmel Qasimi, Robbie Jackson, Bob Lister.
Oh, I was going backwards.
4 most current market inspectors. You got 3 points again. 2 points for the clues and 1 point for getting the fourth one.
Okay.
Doing very well.
The one I was thinking of, I don't know what his name is, but he's like Tricky Dicky.
Yes, there was, but before Tamwa was
that was
Alex.
Going the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, so before Tamwa was Alex, and then yes, you're right, there was someone called Tricky Dicky.
Who Rachel dates. Spoiler.
Clues, set clues 2 or 4?
4.
Okay, good. I'm glad you've left the last one last, because I think you'll like the last one the most.
Doubt it.
So here's clue number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Producer 2003, producer 2010.
That's John York. No, wait, 2010. I don't know. What? Is this people who have produced twice?
It's not, no. Do you want a second clue?
Yeah.
Story editor 2010, series producer 2015.
That's Dominic Treadwell Collins, isn't it?
Could be.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I don't know. Kate Oates has never done anything on EastEnders before.
That's true. Kate Oates hasn't done things on EastEnders before.
So she was what? Corrie 2016, EastEnders 2018, 19.
So what's your final answer?
I don't know.
What's clue number 4?
Kate Oates.
Well, that's the connection.
It's 2018
and
2016, if that's what it is. Is that when she did Corrie?
Depends if that's the last clue.
Is it or not?
No.
I don't know.
So the first clue was producer 2003, producer 2010. Second clue is story editor 2010, series producer 2015. Third clue is assistant producer 2012, series producer 2018. So what's the 4th clue?
Don't know. I give up.
You're right when you say they're the roles Kate Oates played in previous jobs. What's her most current job?
Senior executive producer.
I'll give it to you, but you're not quite right. The last clue would be executive producer 2018, senior executive producer 2018. It's the job that she started with and then ended with on each of her roles before she got to EastEnders.
She's not ended yet.
Well, yeah, but technically current, yeah. So Archers.
That was stupid.
So the Archers, she was the producer in 2003.
Really?
To 2010, yeah. Then Emmerdale.
Oh, it's all her.
These are all Kate Oates.
Oh.
And then Emmerdale, story editor in 2010 to 2015. She worked on Coronation Street as assistant producer in 2012 at the same time as Emmerdale, and then became series producer, and then left as series producer in 2018, and then obviously now she's on EastEnders, which we're very grateful for, with John Send, who we're also very, very grateful for. That was a good one, wasn't it?
No.
So I'll give you 2 points because you kind of got it right. You're doing all right. So here's the last one. This is the one I'm really excited about you playing. Clue 1. Harry. Delve into your brain.
Harry? This is going to be the band, I'm assuming. I don't know any of the band. Sharon. Kelvin.
That's incorrect.
Simon.
That's incorrect.
Sharon.
That's incorrect.
I don't know.
From that, you must guess that it's probably not to do with the band.
Oh, no.
Clue 2. Ronnie.
Harry, Ronnie. Who's Harry?
That's what I want you to tell me. You'll get it from clue 3.
Yeah, another one.
So clue 3, Kenny.
These are Beales.
They are Beales.
So it's going to be Pete and Pauline, because they're twins, as last.
I'll give it to you.
Or Pete, because he's the older twin.
Well,
I don't know.
You're wrong again for why it's Pete. But it is Peter Beale. Oh, what, Peter Beale? It's Peter Beale. Because they're the sons of Lou and Albert Beale. So Harry's the oldest, then Ronnie, then Kenny, then Peter.
Right.
I thought you'd like that one because it involved Peter Beale and the Beales. And you love a bit of the Beales.
Some of them only appeared in written fiction of EastEnders, just so you know.
You're right to the best part of it, but 2 of them appeared also in. Then they did the 1950 Civvy Street edition. So out of 20, you got 9. That's all right. They were tough.
Yeah, I don't understand it, so it's
For somebody who doesn't understand, you always get the answers right. Let us know how you guys got on with that little quiz too. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to pose in a similar style to Ben, please send them to us. All the details are on our website, wolfordweekly.com. And that was Ben's attempt at playing Doc Cotton's connection game.
My head hurts. What a lovely game that was.
It was.
So let's trot on. That's right, trot on.
Oh, nice.
Because we're going to talk about Linda now, because she had a special episode. Linda seems to have a special episode dedicated to her each year. Because last year she had the Stuart and Linda two-hander.
Oh yeah, the hairpin, when she had the microphone in her hairpin.
And this year, I must say, this is one of the best. There's been loads of great episodes. This is to 2020, actually, wasn't it? It was New Year's Day. Was it New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve. It was still 2019.
So yeah, 2019's had loads of great, like, one-off episodes where they've tried things a bit differently. But this one was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, really good. Excellent episode.
Because she's gotten into this state of going to this party because she's lied about where she was during the flashback night with Martin and Keanu.
Yeah, the hangover from Christmas Day, no pun intended, had been carrying on up to this point.
Yeah, because like she said, she was with a friend called Julie who's divorced, but Mick knows she's lying
because she phoned Julie.
Yeah, and he's like wondering maybe she's having an affair or something. But she's like, "Oh, screw you! I'm going out with my best friend Sharon."
She's not drinking.
No. Sharon's in her beautiful black top that she always wears.
Yeah. She's dressed up for the night.
It did make me laugh, and Linda went, "Oh, you're stunning." It's like Sharon wears that every day. For like 5 years.
This was a special one. She'd washed it.
Was it? There's a few sequins sewn on.
Sharon, I must say, her style this week was outstanding. Because also later in the week, she wears a grey hoodie.
Oh yeah, her morning hoodie.
Yeah.
In mourning.
I loved that grey hoodie.
That's what she wore when Mel died.
Was it really? Oh, I see. So she's now in mourning for herself. Hence why she wore her grey hoodie.
Yeah.
Or her friendship with Linda.
Well, she's in mourning of being a Sharon Mitchell. She's now Sharon Watts.
Not yet, she ain't.
Sharon Watts for 2020. That's what I'm calling.
Divorce. Get it ready.
But so yeah, Linda went out to because Karen was having a house party, courtesy of Chantal and Greg, because they're on honeymoon. Don't know if they know that Karen was doing that, but
I think Chantal's got bigger problems.
Well, Grey won't be happy. He'll get home and notice something's broken, won't he?
No, I think it was all cleaned up quite well.
Yeah, and there'll be something. He'll notice like a precious vase of his, and he'll go, "Chantal, your mum," and then it will go off.
Well, Karen did break a glass. Not Karen. Linda did break a glass.
She emptied all the bottles too.
She did. She pretty much drank the party dry. A lot of people were pretty disappointed by the end of that party.
I was wondering when I was watching it, like the actress, like how she was drinking. I know it's not alcohol, it's liquid, but like she must have drunk so much liquid shooting that episode, mustn't she?
But the way she was acting, you
sick.
Genuinely would have thought that was alcohol, because my goodness, she was playing that role for her life. It was just outstanding. I mean, I said that last week that her drunk acting seems to be a necessity for when you're auditioning. I was going to say, because
everyone, like Denise, Kat.
I mean, yeah, but Linda was on another level. Her drunk acting on the New Year's Eve party was honestly just.
It was so real. Like it reminded you of like.
It reminded me of me. It genuinely reminded me of me. It's like watching myself from the outside, looking in, going, "Oh God, yeah, maybe I've got a problem."
Who looks better in that pink sparkly dress though?
Oh, me. And with that hair, you should see my hair down. I always wear it up, you just don't see it often.
Would it be funny if Linda got like a miniature wine bottle from her hair bun? Like she used to have a microphone.
Well, she was hiding a bottle of wine behind the bed.
I know.
Mick found it.
But yeah, the episode was great. She was having a party. There was like a little bit of her and Denise, which was quite fun.
Yeah, she was asking Denise who would sleep with Phil, and Denise kind of sheepishly was like, yeah, no, there's probably more to it. Don't worry too much about it. Yeah, she wanted a fag, which is, again, a lovely little trope for when you've had too much. As an ex-smoker myself, whenever I've had a bit too much to drink, I always look for that cigarette.
And it was great how how it was edited, because it just kept cutting. And where she'd miss bits of conversation or miss things happening. Because she was really horrible and vile to Mick on the phone.
Oh yeah, and she locked herself in the utility room, passed out, and then she thought
Mick was there.
Yeah, she thought like a minute had passed, and so she was like, "Oh, okay, I'll open the door." And she opens the door, and like an hour has passed, and it was Denise knocking the door. That was brilliant. Again, just perfect, absolutely well timed.
Really good. There was one later because she went to Ruby's, and then she went to the Prince Albert. She got a straight man in Prince Albert.
Yeah, that was a strange one, wasn't it?
Kathy appeals to all markets.
Well, I get that, but like, I don't know.
You might have been there for with a friend, wingman.
I thought that maybe. Well, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get my head around it. I thought if she was going to pull, she would have pulled more likely in Ruby's.
Well, Max tried.
Oh yeah, well,
fluttering his eyelashes.
Of course, it was white eyelashes.
She was still like, no.
Yeah, even drunk, Linda was refusing going out and home with Max. It's just despicable.
Yeah, but that was quite like horrible, like because he tried to sleep with her and she was saying no. And I was wondering if she was going to get like a sudden flashback to her and Dean, but they didn't seem to focus on that at all. She just kind of kicked him and ran out.
This is the guy she met at the Albert, not Max. Yeah. I mean, first of all, she isn't a classy lady, and so that guy obviously doesn't have moral standards because, like, the way she was eating that kebab in the taxi ride.
Again, it's how I see everyone eating kebabs on a certain night out when you're out with your friends. That's how it was. It was so well done.
It was like a nose bag that you give to a horse. The way she was eating it, like it was like so, she just literally put her whole face into it, like, and just
it's good kebab.
Muzzled it up. I'm sure it was lovely.
Did you see Ben eating his chips hungover? He was pretty much the same, wasn't he? Talked to Martin,
Ben
splattering a potato over his face.
Ben threw him in the air and then couldn't catch him in his mouth.
Could have retake that. Trying to look cool, wasn't he, Max Bowden? Didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. I suppose it kind of played with the character being a little bit hungover and drunk.
That's true. But yes, and there was a bit later which was cutting where she had like an argument with Sharon downstairs because she eventually came home. And Mick took her to bed, and then she got out of bed wanting to phone Martin again and talk about Keanu. And Sharon like followed her downstairs, but they missed their argument.
Well, they did it because Linda, again, it was from the perspective of
like
Linda.
A blackout,
so so she couldn't remember what she was saying to Sharon. So every time you cut to Sharon, you just saw her in a more...
How dare you say that?
Well, no, in a more of a state of upset and frustration and anger. And so her makeup was more and more running. And so the first of all was like, I can't believe you said that, Linda. And then the next minute she was like, do you really mean that, Linda?
Fine, I'll go.
Yeah, I'll go then.
We're over.
Yeah, just know one thing.
So, I don't know what she must have said to her or why. Is it because she wanted to not say about Keanu and she knows Sharon and Keanu sort of thing, so she was pushing her way?
Well, Sharon was comforting her, saying, because Sharon said, you can tell me what's wrong. And obviously Linda thought, well, I probably came quite close to telling you what was wrong, so I need to instantly push you away. And the only way she could do it is probably saying something like, it was your fault what you did to Phil, and so you get out of the pub. I don't want you staying here anymore. Much to Shirley's delight, no doubt. So I think, even though Shirley was a bit angry with Linda, I think she kind of outweighed that anger with the fact that she chucked Sharon out onto the streets.
No, yeah, that's true. It's a plus point.
Shirley. So that's probably why Shirley's giving her a little bit more gift.
Shirley's still being massively hypocritical, like acting like Mother Superior of alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think they're not going to show Shirley drinking now for like a few months?
They haven't shown Shirley drinking.
Funny that.
Since the Ball and Change episode, when she got too drunk. Which is, exactly that. So it's funny how they're kind of making Shirley suddenly becoming this very holy...
I know.
It's like,
she walks in on Mick. She was like, there's going to be 2 alcoholics under this roof.
Yeah, it's like, all right, Shirley, 3, come on, calm down.
You've been one for a year.
Yeah.
Functioning alcoholic.
She probably is the functioning alcoholic. She's the very definition of it.
But Linda's not like admitting her problems. She's going to do dry January. There's not a problem. And Mick basically is saying maybe you should think about not having a drink again.
Ever. Does it scare you, Linda? Yeah. Does it? And Linda's pretty much like, no, I can have a drink. Once dry January's out the way, I'll just have a glass of wine here and there if I want one. But she's really, you can tell she's really taking offence by Mick's continuous kind of pushing her to not drink.
And watching her and behind the bar and things. They're both, him and Shirley are both looking to see what she's pouring herself.
And she's getting really offended by it now. And so it's probably not... Again, this goes back to what we were saying. Like, is it healthy for her to be working in the pub in the first place?
Yeah, temptation around every corner.
But also others watching her, making sure that she's not have a sip here and a sip there.
Because she was looking for some behind her bed, but Mick had already seen to that.
That's what I said there. She hid a bottle behind the bed.
And she's sort of saying that her mum wants her to visit her.
And she's just decided she's just going to go there a bit early.
Yeah,
so
she's sick of Mick. But we don't know if that's true. Like, she's saying it's true, and she said, "Oh, check my phone." But
it's sad. It's sad by circumstances, really, because Lee had said that to Linda earlier in the week that like both you and Dad are sick and you need help, and you're not helping each other by doing this to each other. So why can't you just seek? I think in a funny way, Linda going her own way would probably do Mick good. Because then Mick, maybe if he could just swallow his pride a little bit, he could then sort himself out too. Because that's basically what Lee did. Lee left to sort himself out. Left Wolford, but left, with his tail between his legs a little bit, because he'd basically just ruined the family by getting them. They got terrorised, didn't they? They got broken into and money got stolen, and that was all Lee's fault. And so, in a funny way, Linda leaving would probably do the world of good, because that could put her on a road of recovery. And Mick could see this as an opportunity to do the same. And the distance between them will probably do them more good than bad, really, I think. And
it was a nice moment as well that Lee told Linda about his attempted suicide as well, like finally, because none of them really knew about that. And Mick, I'm talking about years ago now when Lee was on it, but Mick was always man up sort of mentality. So it was nice that Lee finally told Linda.
Maybe he told the wrong person though. Maybe he should have told Mick, because then Mick could have seen that it's not wrong to admit that you need help.
Well, Lee will just have to come back, Rainie.
Yes, he would, full time, working behind the bar with his wife, while Mick and Linda keep owning the pub, and they can then live away from the pub. Work on their no secrets. But then the Carters will still own the pub, but it'll be run by little Lee Carter and his wife. And then so everyone's happy. And Tracy will always work there. She'll be buried in the cellar. There's a grave there already, waiting for her to be put in there.
That's true. The only person ever to fire her was Woodward.
Yeah. Let's not.
Then she works in Albert.
That's another one that upset Whitney, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, he hasn't come back to be shoulders crying, has he?
He's too busy touring, isn't he?
Yeah.
Going where the money is.
Right, so we're going to move on to surprise return, again, flashback scenes of Daniel, who is the Slater's guardian angel.
He's paying off that. So on Christmas Day, we discovered that the Panesar brothers were much kinder, and they said that, oh, you know what, we were wrong, we're going to let you carry on living there, the rent you went there before, you were paying before, it's all fine.
But really it was because Daniel had slipped them a few notes.
Well, just a check. Not a few notes, just a check.
And he's going to continue paying the difference in rent.
Yeah, until the day he dies. No, he said he would do it for 2 years, didn't he? He said he'd cover it for 2 years.
Did he put a time on it?
Yeah, he did. But I don't think I think he knows that he's
not going to be there.
He's not going to be there for very long, so he's probably paid up until those 2 years. And to be fair to the Panesar brothers, they've honoured the deal. Well, I say the Panesar brothers. Kirit has decided that is a deal that he's going to make. And to be fair to Kirit, he also was very kind, and he got Daniel and Jean to meet again. They got together again, didn't they? Thanks to him. So those Panesar brothers have a kinder heart than you actually first think.
Ish, but then later on, he was horrible again to Ash.
He was.
But, he has a soft spot for Jean, because I think he kind of sees his mum in Jean. So he has a little soft spot for her, and she loves him.
Yeah,
she can't wait for them to be neighbours, because they're moving into Adam's house.
Yeah, she got really excited, didn't she? She said, hello, neighbour. And she was having a great time. But Daniel and Jean just can't seem to get a break for that. They want to get away. They want to do all these big, lavish bucket list things.
Yeah, it's all in secret, because everyone thinks he's dead.
Yeah, so they're doing it quietly, and they met at the secret cafe, and they planned to do something that day, but then Daniel felt a bit sick, so they said, right, we'll go to the Ritz next. We'll go to the Ritz tomorrow, and we'll have afternoon tea there. But then when Daniel went to pick Jean up, and Jean looked wonderful as well, didn't she?
That's the thing that makes me feel a bit sad. Like, Jean's the one out of this couple. They were both doing treatment together. She's the one who's come out of it, and she's not forgetting what it was like, but she's in
remission, and
so I guess she's forgetting what it was like being ill,
and
then she was all happy because she's found this guy, and then she turns around and she's like, oh no, wait, the cancer's still there, just not physically in me, but in her life it's now still there with Daniel. So I did feel like And it's a bit sad. It's sad for her.
It is sad to watch her, but this is the reason why Daniel wanted to pretend he was, he faked his own death because he didn't want her to watch this. But I think she's showing her strength by, when he did kind of pass out or have a little sleep when he felt really very unwell. And when he woke up, she had made him the sandwiches and they had afternoon tea at the Slater house instead. And I thought that was a really nice way of dealing with it and accepting that she understands that perhaps they're running before they can walk and they might not be able to do these big gestures anymore, and that they should spend time together the way they can. And sometimes the best way to spend time together is just by being at home together and comforting one another. And they got to dance and they kissed and it was a lovely scene. And I love every scene between Jean and Daniel.
Was it just sandwiches? Was there cakes there? I thought I saw cakes.
I didn't really look that deeply into it.
Because I thought, she's been busy.
Well, has she been busy, or did she pop to the cafe?
I think she bought it and took it out of packaging. And
maybe she went to Low Cost Mart, got a couple of cream cakes. Although dangerous game to leave Daniel on his own in the house. Anyone could have just walked in.
Yeah, dead body.
Yeah,
it's like Alfie all over again.
Oh my goodness, yeah, right at the bottom of the stairs. Hit his head on the logs. So probably Jean made those sandwiches.
So they're living a happy life because of
I would say happy.
career. Well,
I would say a tolerant life, and that they're accepting is the time they have left together.
But Jean's happy that he's there, but Ash is not happy that the brothers are around.
No, so Ash has probably good reasons to, because it sounds like that she had always been expected to just be almost the good little woman at home until she found a husband, got married, and then moved out. And she didn't want that. She wanted to get herself educated. She wanted to become a doctor.
She wanted to be bi.
Yep. But all these things, she wanted to be a strong, independent Sikh woman. And unfortunately, this Sikh woman is dating a Muslim woman.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go down too well with Kirit.
It did make me laugh because Iqra was asking her, they can't be that bad. Vinny seemed nice because she's met Vinny.
Vinny does seem nice, though. Vinny's really polite.
And she was like, yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
And she was like, Jags, he's not even worth talking about. He's harmless.
I mean, bless Jags. He's they're all growing on me a little bit now. But Jags just needs to get out of that rut of being that story where he's the one who eats a little bit too much, and They
did it all again all week. Even in Wolford East, he was talking about lettuce or salad and.
Well, no, he was doing, and yeah, he said he was calling them leaves. He said menu says leaves, and then when they were in the chicken shop, McCluskey's earlier in the week, and he started licking the tray of chicken. And it's like, okay, fine, we get it now. He's this kind of silly little character. Fine, if you're going to do that, then give him some comic roles where he's not just the joke. It's not just the joke is, oh look, ha ha ha, he overeats. And so
that's all there is to it.
It's give him
Heather.
more then. Yeah, it is like Heather, actually.
With cheese.
But Heather was lucky because she had Shirley with her, and so Shirley kind of counterbalanced one another, and so they became almost like a Laura and Hardy act. While with Jags, he's not really got that. They kind of did it with Vinny, with at the beginning when Vinny was making fun of him, but Jags, what Jags needs is a friend outside of his family. That's what I say. No, not Chantel.
No, so that's the only option.
Well, okay.
Peter Beale.
Peter Beale, there you go. Or Bobby. Bobby Beale, there you go.
Yeah, maybe. But we saw Kirit's horrible side again in Wolford East because Iqra made a secret plan for them all to meet up because she's interfering girlfriend. And obviously, when they first arrived, we knew that the mum and him didn't like Ash because she was pregnant. She had an abortion at 19.
Yeah.
And there was horrible things said. And he was kind of accepting of them. And then she introduced Iqra and it all went downhill again. And it's because he's got a real nasty side to him, hasn't he? He's very old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It's a weird. I don't know much about Sikh and Muslim divide or whatever. I don't know, but
I guess that it's just that you don't mix, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's just horrible. And he sort of proved again, for the second time in a row, this is why I don't let you in my life.
It's the fact that he said he always was well, you should be happy. I've accepted that you decided to be bisexual. I've accepted that you decided to rock the boat a little bit, and had an abortion. But now you're doing this as well. How dare you?
It's almost like the only reason she's doing it is just to upset him.
Yeah, which I'm sure.
Big head.
Exactly that.
No one cares about you, mate.
And Ash has said this to him and her brothers on numerous occasions. It's that you guys think that dedicated all my time into thinking what would they think, and I really don't. I don't care what you guys think. I'm living my own life, and it's the fact that they just can't accept that. They're almost upset that Ash doesn't care what they think, isn't it? It's
well,
really weird.
Vinny doesn't seem to care because he was the one who Iqra texts, and he was like trying to bring everyone together. Jags is just not anything. He's just sat on the side and didn't include anything.
Jags just joins in.
And Karit was just obviously not happy with the Muslim Sikh situation. 2 women.
But just after they reconciled their differences again, and then exactly. He's
obviously used to the 2 other brothers bowing down to him, and obviously Ash don't. And that's what he doesn't like.
But they've obviously got a soft spot for Ash, haven't they? I mean, if it's their younger sister as well, isn't it? Is she the youngest of the 4?
I don't know. Her and Vinny are like similar. They're the youngest, I think.
Well, Jags is the very youngest.
No, Jags is middle, isn't he? I think.
Oh, I forget.
I don't know. I don't care enough about them.
Well, no, fair enough. But I do think they are growing on me a little bit, and at least their stories now beginning to develop, other than... I mean, all we know about them is that they've got a rat-catching company. For some bizarre reason, Karit had some kind of problem with Ben and then kidnapped in a warehouse that we've not seen
yeah,
since.
I forgot about that.
That's a really strange thing. But they had a setup there, so presumably other things have happened.
Sky installed and stuff.
Yeah, they did. They're watching Homes Under the Hammer. And so presumably the other things have been happening in that warehouse since they've decided to move down here.
But I much prefer, like I've been saying all the time, like EastEnders, I so much prefer it when it's like character. Like the family situation, the family unit, like the divide between their religions is so much more interesting to me than kidnapping people and planting rat poison. It's just like, I don't want that. I want character.
But then that's what I say. The Panesar brothers are now having this character driven, as you said yourself, about the religion aspect. So 10%. That's interesting. Yeah, but at least they're heading down a road of interest now, where you can kind of relatably see a story coming about and being drawn in front of you.
We'll see. When the mum arrives, that will be my final test.
Okay.
And if I'm still not on board, by then they've had their time.
Well,
warning. I won't be renewing their contract.
warning to them all. I mean, they're pretty putting a lot of chips in. They're almost going all in with the Panesars, because the fact that they've introduced now 4 family members and a 5th one's on the way.
No, I like one of them, but I'm not going to say who.
Well, it's Ash, isn't it? It's obviously Ash.
Not necessarily.
I like Karit's okay.
No, but he's horrible.
Yeah, but then that's an interesting character.
Yeah, but he's still not like that great.
I mean, he's good looking though.
So is Vinny.
Vinny's very good looking, yeah.
Vinny's a bit dull. They're just nothing. They're not anything enough for me yet.
But that's what I mean. There's you've not learned enough about Vinny and Jags, but at least Karit is becoming more of a rounded character. That you can see he's a kind of villainous kind of brother, and as you say, he expects people when he clicks his fingers to pay attention to him. Maybe it's just because there's too many of those in the square at the moment, because there's Ben who's like that, there's Martin who's like that, there's
Sonia.
Phil, there's Sonia, there's Dot.
I mean, 2020 just looks dark for me. We're going to talk about Ian now and Sharon, and taking Sharon in the Beale household, which is quite full. There seems to be another worrying new story strand for 2020, which I'm hoping isn't actually going to happen.
But this could be much lighter, surely.
Yeah, there were hints that Ian has like a thing for Sharon, and like he's had it all this time, and this is his moment, and it's like, really?
But if
that's a storyline, then I'm just gonna that cannot happen. I don't know. These 2020 storylines just are not looking good for the first quarter for me.
When it started,
Sonia the Thief, Dark Martin, Ian pursuing Sharon.
Who Shot Phil 2.0? Linda's drinking.
Yeah.
It started, and I suppose we should have seen it coming from that point when Ian accidentally, with very, very heavy inverted commas,
mistletoe,
kissed Sharon under the mistletoe. Yeah. And then since then, as we noticed that Ian's asked Sharon to stay with him, and he was a bit disappointed when she'd already said that Linda had already asked her. And then when Sharon came running to his arms and said, "Oh, I need somewhere to stay," Ian was very accepting, and he's decided to take side Sharon, which you said yourself you like that Ian's taken her side.
Take away that weird, creepy scene in this cafe when they were going through all his wives, and he was like, maybe I waited for the most special one, and I looked at her, and she thought he was talking about Jane, but he was talking about her. That's just like, that was creepy. But take away that, he was really good on the episode, because Kathy was against Sharon. She doesn't want her in the house. Ben doesn't want them. Lola and Jay, who have literally no say in anything, don't want Sharon there, but he stood his ground. Said, no, I'm choosing Sharon. She can stay. We're team Queen Sharon.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm playing devil's advocate by saying this because I hate the idea of the story being about Sharon and Ian too. But do you think that it might make some sense that the two of the...
Don't say because they nearly dated in 85.
No, that's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it because they are two of the originals.
So?
Two of the originals. Would it make sense that it's almost like the Arthur and the Pauline?
Oh, God.
Well, think about it, though. They are, but they're the original characters from the soap.
Yeah, why can't they just be friends? They've been friends all this time.
Yeah,
why can't two characters just be friends for once?
But friends could blossom into
we've
a
seen that
beautiful
thousands
relationship.
of times. It's nicer seeing. It was so nice seeing him there for Sharon as a friend.
I mean, I that's what I said. I was only saying it as a kind of like
another point of view.
Another point of view. But
no,
no. Yeah, I agree with you. The scene when Ian was having that conversation with Ben in the kitchen, and Ben was like, "I can't believe you're taking Sharon's side," and Kathy was kind of watching on and was like, "Oh, Ben, stop! Oh, Sharon, go away." I preferred that to when it was Ian, because there was about a month or so ago when Sharon had lost the nightclub to Mel. And there was a really nice scene with them as well when they were being it was a friendship between them. But when it showed undertones of Ian falling in love with Sharon, but then Ian's a stickler for second-hand goods, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, damaged goods. He likes damaged goods, doesn't he? And I'm not being horrible by calling Sharon a damaged good, and I'm sorry for anyone I've offended. Well, yes, but to Ian's point of view, it's like he's almost like the last option, and he's always quite quick to see it in a woman who needs it. So he's a bit like, "Oh, hi, out. By the way, I'm Ian Beale. How would you like to have a go?"
Because he let go of Mel and she's dead now, and he missed his chance. You see,
and he was quite upset by that.
Yeah, so he might be thinking this is my only chance.
That's interesting because Mel harboured the secret about Sharon, and Sharon, there was kind of that battle between her and Mel. You'd think that Ian might feel a little bit sore about the fact that Sharon kind of almost tried to blackmail Mel, or I don't suppose Ian really knew what was happening between them two.
He doesn't judge Ian anymore.
That really does.
Not when it comes to Sharon.
He does. He's keeping it real.
I mean, if there's even one little hint of Kathy and Phil getting back together, and Ian and Sharon getting together.
Do you think that's where it's heading?
Oh, I hope not. That's what I feel could happen, but I don't want that to happen. But if there's not even just one line of Kathy and Phil, a hint at them getting back together, it would just be ridiculous. But on paper, like in a writer's room somewhere, I can imagine that everyone's sitting around thinking, that's a good idea. Ian and Sharon versus Kathy and Phil, and Ben in the middle, and
well, you think it's pinned up to a wall somewhere on a storyboard, and people are saying possible that could happen.
So I just found it odd that Kathy suddenly had this thing against Sharon.
I don't think it's a sudden
just to
thing.
Create, yeah.
Because if you think about it, when Kathy returned, Sharon had an instant dislike to Kathy, and they had that fight, didn't they, in the garage?
Phil.
Well, yeah, true. That's right, because
Phil
she thought that Kathy was going to try it get back with Phil as well, didn't she? Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't want that, and that could cause like a thing with Ben as well, being happy that his mum and dad are back together.
Yeah, but angry because his brother is dating the woman
Sharon,
who betrayed.
Exactly. So it gives loads of like conflict. But even though it does give that, I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. On paper, it sounds all right.
Well, that could work. A bit like Martin kidnapping Keanu in what we just watched. That probably looked good on paper.
Well, we're going all the way back to the beginning of the show now, but it did not work. It fulfilled its purpose, and that was to get rid of Keanu as a character. So it fulfilled its purpose. The one good thing about if Sharon and Ian get together and Kathy and Phil get back together is the fact that Kathy can't have an affair with Sharon's husband, because that would be
one plus
her own son. So, but then maybe Sharon could have an affair with Phil. Oh, see, this is sounding like an EastEnders story as I'm going through it plod by plod.
We'll see on the 19th of February. Something might happen with Phil.
What, that quick? No,
with Phil and Kathy there'll be a spark on the 19th of February 1985. 1985. 2020.
Can you imagine if they do a flashback episode to 1985?
Kathy's like, Phil, I knew you in 85. 5 years before you came onto the show.
So before we go to...
Kathy looks the same, but Phil looks older, obviously.
Oh, no, Kathy would look younger. Well,
so she could do it.
Yeah, she'd be fine. She'd be absolutely fine. I mean, young Phil does look like Ben Mitchell.
Max Bowden, very good.
So I've said that before, I know, but the casting is outstanding. If you watch the classic EastEnders on Drama Channel, it's very good.
And also, I was quite happy with Bobby as well, because he was standing up for Sharon and telling Ben, "Don't judge. We're all peace and harm here. It's all good." So that was nice.
Yeah, really good. He I think it was a quote from the Quran. I couldn't quote it word for word, but it's about forgiveness, and if you're able to forgive, then you can be forgiven, which was a really nice quote, actually.
Let Sharon in.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you want to be forgiven, Ben, then forgive others. And and it was really nice. But I wonder if it was directly aimed at Ben, or whether it was just aimed as a general kind of net toward the whole. Yeah, basically every single cast member of EastEnders.
Bobby's the only one with a heart.
It's really nice that Bobby's he's come back and he's just the one who is the moral compass for the whole square.
Him and Lee should have a scene together.
Him and Lee would be a good relationship.
Very calming that would be.
Yeah, I'd like that. They should open a Zen bar or a yoga house or something like that.
Open it in a laundrette. Close down the laundrette.
Or the community centre. They could do it every Tuesday. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30.
Bobby and Lee's calm hour. Where you just sit and... Whitney will be there every week, front row.
Oh, yeah. Looking all loved up. Trying to find herself a boyfriend.
But there you go. That's the whole big week done of many hours of EastEnders. And we're back to normal next week. Just 4 normal episodes. Thank God.
Well, unless they increase their episode number, but let's hope that they don't.
No.
So before we skip on to Who Won the Week and reading out your comments for I Ain't One to Gossip, I just want to remind everyone that it will be our 100th episode on the 19th of January, and we'd really love it if you guys could just send us an audio recording of you saying hello, or thanks for doing the show, or please stop doing the show and go away, or anything along those lines, because we'll play them and we'll enjoy them, and we really like to hear what our listeners think about us. Make it about 30 seconds.
Like.
And what you sound... You know what we sound like. You know what I look like. I want to know what you sound like. I want to hear your voices. It needs to be about 30 seconds long, and you can send it to us on our email, which is still at the moment eastendersweekly@gmail.com. Or if you want to send us a sound file, you can send it to us on our Twitter or our Instagram. All details are on wolfordweekly.com. You can say hello EastEnders Weekly if you want, but by the 100th episode we're Wolford Weekly, so it'd be good if you could hello Wolford Weekly.
Yeah, say whatever you want.
You can say whatever you like. You can read out the Chinese menu if you want.
Swear.
Yeah, no. Well, you can swear. We'll just have to beep it out. We'll just beep it out. But yeah, just up to 30 seconds and send us a little hello. We really appreciate that. And that's for our 100th episode, which is on the 19th of January. So it's time...
I'm sorry, I'm just listening.
Okay. So it's time to now do Who Won the Week.
Oh, so we'll hear everyone's comments about their thoughts on the week.
You know me, I ain't one to gossip.
So it's time at the end of the show where we read out your comments, discuss who won the week, but before we do any of that, we also find out birthdays and deaths around this time of year. And it's a magical time of year, the New Year's time, because there's an outstanding number of both. There was loads last week, Christmas week. Not as many birthdays, but a lot of deaths. A lot of people die on New Year's. So we are going to go through them. So 4th of January 1974, Diane Butcher's birthday. And she ran away. She did run away on it was after New Year's, wasn't it? Because her birthday
4th of January, her birthday.
Of course it was. I'm being a prat. Carry on. So yes. 1st of January 2015, Matthew Cotton / Mitchell was born. Ronnie and Charlie's son. Oh. So they're the only birthdays. So wow. Deaths, all of these deaths bar one was on the 1st of January. Goodness me. It's not a good time to be on the square on the 1st of January, is it? Get out of there. Right, so 1st of January 1999, Tiffany Mitchell met her end. Oh, that was sad. That's when Frank knocked her down. It snowed as well. They don't do snowy episodes anymore on EastEnders. I just realised that. Too expensive, can't afford it. Climate change. 1st of January 2004, Barry Evans rolled off a hill. Pushed off a hill, I think you'll find. Well, no, he fell. Janine didn't actually push him. She didn't also help him when he was kind of tumbling. She stood and watched. But then he knocked his head on the rock, and she could have then called for help, but she just sat there and watched him die. No, she sat there and watched him die. No, because he died like 2 minutes after, so he would have died even if she got help. Yeah, but she could have at least tried to help. It was a very much a conscious effort that she just wanted him to die. One of the best moments of ever. Janine has so many. Again, watch our YouTube video of best moments of the decade. Janine has another good she's on there. Killing death scene too. 1st of January 2006, Dennis Rickman died at the hands of a phone call from Phil, I would say. Well, no. See, we've been told off for this. Phil didn't directly call the hit.
Yeah, well, might as well have.
1st
of January 2012, our lovely Pat Evans allegedly died.
That sounds familiar too. That could possibly be a moment of the decade. Maybe I should watch the video on YouTube on Wolford Weekly and find out.
1st of January 2014, Carl White died.
Yes.
1st of January 2015, Emma Summerhays passed away after being hit by a car.
Oh yes, because she found out who'd killed Lucy.
Yes, and Ronnie and Roxy ran her over because
the brakes got cut.
Yeah, nasty Nick broke the brakes.
He likes cutting brakes, doesn't he? Because he did it to his own son as well. Unintentionally. He was meant for Mark Fowler, yeah.
1st of January 2017, Ronnie Mitchell died. 1st of January 2017,
let me guess.
Roxy Mitchell died.
You didn't let me guess.
Tough.
I'm
sure it's on a list somewhere on wolfordweekly.com.
I think it might be on a moment of the decade list too.
And the last one, 3rd of January 2019, Ray Kelly passed away by being shot by Hunter.
I have to say, since I've mentioned it 4 times as you were going down the list, Ray Kelly being shot was... You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm showing Ben my forefinger and thumb almost touching how close it was that they were going to be in one of my moments. Because I loved the Ray Kelly story with Mel and Hunter. I really, really did. It was just such a return to form for me for EastEnders, and it made me really excited when he was on screen. And something else you could maybe find on our YouTube channel, but you can also find on our podcast.
Oh, is that our interview, is it?
We did an interview with Ray Kelly.
Sean Mann.
Yeah, Sean Mann. So listen back to that. That was back in January, February time, I believe.
He loved working with Mel.
He really did.
Sounds enough, wait.
He didn't like working with us very much. But then that wasn't his fault.
He loved it. He was in a chair in his in like a holiday house, wasn't he?
He was swigging whiskey. No, sorry, that's I shouldn't say something like that. That's not necessarily true.
I don't know what he was doing, but he was relaxing at home.
He was relaxing, and then we came about, and it all went wrong. No, it was lovely talking to him, and we were so thankful that he agreed to do the interview.
Yeah, right.
We've got lots of interviews on our YouTube channel and our podcasts.
People keep asking for more, but if we get one, we'll get one.
Yeah, we will. We will. Give us time. Anyway, so who won the week? Every week, as I say, we go. We give you 4 stories to choose, and you have to decide which is your favourite story of the week. And the 4 options were Jean's Dandy Reunion.
No.
Wow. Linda's New Year Heave.
Yep.
Do you like that? That was, again, one of my top moments there.
Good storyline.
New Year's Heave. New Year's Eve. Martin's Flashback.
No.
And Sonia Blames the Russians.
No. Right, I want Linda's New Year's Eve to win.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
She does win with 44% of the vote. Not quite the out-and-out winner as we had last week on Christmas week. But
that's true. It's all gone downhill since then, hasn't it?
It was just New Year's Day when it went downhill. But they're going back up again. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Second place was Martin's Flashback with 23% of the vote.
23, that's not that much.
Well, it came second. With 22% of the vote was Jean's Dandy Reunion.
See?
And last place was Sonia Blames the Russians when she talked to no one on the end of the phone at 11%. Do you want a few comments as we quickly storm through them?
Go, quick.
I'll do it. Andy on our Facebook group said, Karen was so good. Great to see Lorraine Stanley given a chance to play another side of Karen.
She was really good this week.
She was fun.
High praise.
Absolutely. At TamTrainer96 on Twitter said, Sharon hasn't done anything wrong. She slept with Keanu because Phil was going to Spain all the time and Sharon was lonely and needed action. Phil needs to look in the mirror.
You tell him.
At Saf Kallis on our Twitter says, I don't think Bobby was sticking up for Sharon. I think he's far more intuitive than anyone gives him credit for. He was talking to Ben. He knows he needs to forgive himself. He may not know what for, but he was definitely talking to Ben.
To forgive Sharon.
Well, maybe where you head with that. Ali on our Facebook said, did you detect a moment of hesitation from Ben when he said to Martin, so you really have done it? He then acted sheepishly with Martin when Martin mentioned how Ben accidentally killed Heather. Could this open the door for an existential crisis for Ben? I have a hunch he will eventually tell Callum. Do you think he will tell Callum? We haven't really talked about Callum at all this week.
Callum's not been in it.
Yeah, but I mean, Callum is to return, and obviously,
is he?
Yes, and
don't know that.
And we know that there's going to be there's going to be a bit of tension between Ben and Callum. Do you think he will just one night? It's bound to be an evening. He's just going to just release all this information because he said to Martin, didn't he? He said, I choose to keep some information to myself. But Callum, he does love Callum. He did it for his own good. Broke up with him. Do you reckon eventually he will just let it all out?
I don't know what to say about Ben anymore. He's so 3 characters in a row.
But he's
I didn't know what to say
he's
to
like
him.
Jekyll and Hyde, and then a third one, isn't
Yeah.
it? Jekyll and Hyde and Ben. It's really difficult, isn't it, to know?
It's just messy. It's getting messier as it goes along.
Well, that's just your personal problem, and I told you not to keep it out of the studio. @Fru43 said the Panesar scene in the restaurant with Iqra was so tense. I'm really excited for more.
I am, as long as it's character driven. That's what I want. More of that, please.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an interesting take, and it's something that I don't think soaps have done before, or at least in recent history. So it's good.
Fair enough. So thanks to everyone who's written to us with their comments on our Twitter, our Instagram, or by email. As always, every week we get lots and lots and lots of them, and we only have time to read a few out. But keep sending them to us because we really do appreciate getting them, and we read out as many as we can within the tight time frame of the show. And unfortunately, we sometimes gabble on a bit too much, like I am right now. If you want to find more information about us, all you have to do is find our webpage, which is www.wolfordweekly.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook group, which you can join at any time. All that information is also on our website, as well as our YouTube channel, where we upload a new video every Thursday.
Right. And this podcast, will be called Wolford Weekly.
Very soon. So don't
just
forget
like our website.
Exactly. So don't forget to subscribe on that as well. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. We always enjoy your company. And from me, Alex, have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your week.
And we'll see what 2020 brings.